Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. So for today's video, I'm so excited about making this video, and I know that you guys have been waiting for it because I have so many of you that have sent me messages, Snapchats just asking for this, and I will finally show you guys how I make my famous lasagna recipe. I've been holding off on this video just because it takes so long, and I was like, I need to be prepared for this video and I need to have a lot of time in my hands for this video because it does take a while, especially because I make my marinara sauce from scratch. So that's like 45 minutes added. I cannot stress this enough. Homemade fresh marinara sauce or any type of sauce will make your pasta go from a 10 to 100. Like, stop buying those nasty canned supermarket sauces that are just processed and nasty and don't taste the same. So I will be showing you how I make my marinara sauce and how I make my lasagna, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. And yeah, before we get started on that, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already and join the family. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up and show some love in the comments. Okay, so first things first is the marinara sauce. Marinara sauce is so important when making a lasagna because you just don't want to mess it up. Like, you mess up your sauce, you burn your sauce, and you ruin everything, you ruin the taste. Let me show you what we're gonna need for today. Definitely we're gonna need tomatoes. I have a couple. I have this and like another one over here, only because I'm gonna make a big batch. But if you're gonna make like a little bit of like marinara sauce, like let's say to keep in a jar like this, I would say only like 3. But if you're gonna make a lot for like lasagna, yeah, definitely get a couple. An onion, I'm gonna use the whole onion. Maybe not the whole, no, yeah, the whole onion. We're gonna use garlic, some fresh basil. Don't buy the canned thing, like, you know, like that dry basil. No, you're gonna get fresh basil leaves, tomatoes, and sauce. This is the only thing that I will buy in a can when making my marinara sauce. I buy it, the diced tomatoes, no salt added, no nothing added, just like plain diced tomatoes in a can. And I do this only because, as you can see, it's a little watery, so it adds a lot more water to my sauce. We are going to need wine. Yes, you're gonna need red wine. You can definitely do it without the wine. It's not something that's gonna like make it or kill it, but it does add very, very, very delicious taste to your sauce. Olive oil, and a lot of it. Salt, pepper, oregano, garlic powder. I'm so excited. So, okay, I'm not even gonna keep talking. Let's get to cooking. First thing we're gonna do is, you can see in the back over here, I have a pot with boiling water, because what we're gonna do is dice up these tomatoes. So I don't mean diced up, but what am I gonna tell you? You're gonna make like a line in 4. I'll show you guys, and you're gonna get it to boil so they open up, and then you're able to peel them off. Once the tomatoes have boiled, you can see the skin is starting to come off. You can easily just take off the skin. This is exactly how you want them peeled, and as you can see, these tomatoes are so juicy, which is exactly what you want, because all that water is what's gonna add to your marinara sauce. For our next step, we're gonna get a pan, and then we're gonna get some olive oil, and I'm using a low medium heat for this, and we're gonna add a very like generous amount of olive oil that covers the whole pan. Now we're gonna get our onion, and we're just gonna pour it all over. Be careful because it can splash some oil on you. You're gonna want to do this in low medium heat because you literally do not want to burn your onions, especially garlic. Once you put your garlic in, garlic gets burnt really quick. Now that you see that the onion is translucent, we're gonna go ahead and add our garlic. So I'm gonna use about 4 or 5 cloves of garlic over here, and I have a garlic presser, which I freaking love. But if you don't have one, you can just cut them up into really, really, really tiny pieces. I'm gonna add it. This stuff is so cool. And this you're gonna cook, I would say, for about like 3 minutes, not much, until you start smelling that garlic being roasted, because you do not want to burn the garlic. Now we're gonna go ahead and add all our tomatoes. And the tomato can that we have. And the tomato can, the canned tomato. Okay, now that we have the tomatoes and everything going on, we're going to cover up the pan for at least about 15 minutes because we want the tomatoes to start watering down so we can break them up and start adding like the water, the wine, the salt, the basil, all of that. So leave this for 15 minutes and then come back and we'll check it up. As you can see, the sauce is starting to get a lot more watery. The tomatoes are starting to just release their water. So now that's what we're gonna add. I'm gonna add 2 cups of water. And we're gonna go ahead and add like 2 of these. Now this is gonna give it a very good taste. This is gonna make it yummy, yummy. And now we're gonna add some fresh basil. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. And with that, we're gonna add salt. I don't do measurements. I kind of just go with like what looks right. Pepper. Okay. And I'm not gonna add the oregano and the garlic powder and the brown sugar just yet. Okay. Low heat, we're gonna cover this. And this is where it takes long, which is where I say that lasagna usually takes me longer, because we're gonna leave this here for about 40 minutes. And every 5 minutes, you're gonna come and just like stir it, because you don't want the bottom to get burnt. So every 5 to 10 minutes, come back, stir it, make sure to get the bottom to the top for 40 to 45 minutes. So while we have our sauce going on in the back, we're gonna start prepping the ground beef for the lasagna. I know some people use like ground pork, where they mix it with the ground beef. I usually mix the ground pork with the ground beef, but because of everything going on, I couldn't even find pork. And in a blender, I have this going on. So you're gonna add onion, green pepper, red pepper, like about 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, and some cilantro, a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, less than half a cup of water. And you're gonna blend that up, and then you're gonna pour everything into the ground beef and just let it sit. Like, you're gonna let that ground beef like soak up all the condiments, because that's what's gonna take off like that like meat taste in the ground beef. The longer you leave it marinating, the more flavor it's gonna have once you start cooking it. Once it's been about, I would say 20 minutes since this was boiling, you're gonna go ahead and add your garlic powder. Like I said, it's up to you. And just a little bit of oregano, not too much. And you're gonna add about 1 scoop of brown sugar, just so it gives it that little sweet taste. We're gonna keep getting it covered for the rest of the 20 more minutes. We're gonna add it back in the hot pan. This is when it's gonna start getting thick. It's gonna look so yummy. Oh my gosh, you guys, this smells so good. Now that we have this, we're gonna add a little bit more of salt. Now we're gonna cover it up again. And I would say for about 15 minutes, but still come back in every 5 minutes, stir it up. And now you're gonna notice that it's gonna start thickening up, and that's exactly how you want it to get before you turn it off. So now it's finally time to get started with the lasagna. So all you're gonna need for your lasagna pasta, mozzarella, a lot of mozzarella, ricotta cheese, parsley. This you're just gonna use to decorate at the top at the end. Obviously your ground beef and your marinara sauce. And then you're gonna need any type of container. I just use these so I can just like use it, throw it out, and bye. And you're gonna need tin foil. That's what you're gonna use to cover it up when you pop it in the oven. For you not to waste your lasagna pasta, it's always a good idea to count your lasagna strips. I'm gonna need 12 lasagna strips, and I just count them out. I like to just count them out and have it there, and then I add like 2 more just in case one of them like breaks or something while it's boiling. Like that, you don't waste your lasagna and you don't boil more than you have to or less than what you have to. When you're cooking your lasagna, cook it, the most like boil it is for 8 minutes, because you do not want your lasagna to end up overcooked and undercooked. You're gonna cook it for 8 minutes, and it's not gonna be super soft, but it's fine because we're gonna put it in oil after we drain it, and that's just gonna finish it cooking up. And once it's in the oven, it's gonna be completely cooked, because the thing is, if you overcook it, it's gonna be too soggy, it's gonna be nasty. You don't want that. So yeah, boil it in salt water, 8 minutes. So it doesn't stick together, we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil. Finally, for the ground beef, you're gonna add a little bit of olive oil, not too much because the ground beef already has a lot of fat. So we're gonna cook the meat until it's completely cooked. Once it's completely cooked, we're gonna add salt, pepper, garlic powder, anything that you want to add to the ground beef just to add more flavor. Once you see all the fat completely released from the meat, we're going to actually drain the ground beef, and that is because if you leave your ground beef with all that excess fat and oil, it's going to make your pasta super greasy, super soggy once it's cooking, and obviously that's not what we want. Now I'm going to show you how you're going to set up your whole baking pan. First thing we're going to do is spray our pan so that the lasagna does not stick at the bottom. We are going to add our first layer. We add ground beef. Add ricotta cheese. We're gonna add mozzarella. We're gonna spray a little bit of cooking oil just so it doesn't stick. We're gonna cover it with aluminum foil. And now we pop it in the oven for 30 minutes at 425 degrees. Alright, well there you have it, you guys. After many hours, we're finally done, and the lasagna came out so delicious, so good. So I hope you guys try it out, and I got to share it with you guys even though it took forever. It took my whole afternoon. My kitchen is a mess now. I'm so tired. I'm ready to take a shower and just go to sleep and enjoy this pasta tomorrow because I'm exhausted from cooking. I don't want to cook for the whole week. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope this satisfied all of you guys that were asking for this recipe. And as always, just take care, stay safe, and see you guys next time.